Good morning, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing fine. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, guys. Before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash a like on the video, and also, please, guys, don't forget to put your notifications on, guys. But above all, don't forget to smash a like, guys. Please, guys, let's get straight into it. It is Wednesday, the 15th of October, guys. And look, international break is over. England have qualified for the World Cup as we expected with a 5-0 win again yesterday. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, of course, guys. It is ridiculous that we have to always do these easy qualification games, of course, guys. But look, let's get into it. It's real football is coming back, guys. It's basically focused on Manchester United now, as we always are. Of course we are, guys. We are always focused on Manchester United, of course, guys. But let's get straight into it. I want to speak about Ruben Amorim, guys. I want to speak about Ruben Amorim because Ruben Amorim has called out Manuel Ugarte, in regards to his performances at Manchester United. He has said, according to Laurie Whitwell, he has said that Ugarte is not the same player as he was at Sporting Lisbon. Now, what do I make of this? Guys, look, what I would say is that I don't want to get into the realms of favoritism, right? I don't want to get into the realms of blaming Ruben Amorim for having his favorites, right? And I would bring this out, and I want to be honest with you guys, as a supporter, a stern supporter of Ruben Amorim. I do think he's wrong. I do think he's wrong in regards to this. And look, I know that Ugarte hasn't played well this season. I know that he hasn't got to the levels that he was at Sporting Lisbon or PSG, which led to the PSG move, of course. But so have many other players in that team, namely your captain, Bruno Fernandes, who's had an absolutely awful season this season and given away 3-4 goals this season. We have to be real about that, don't we? We can't just throw one player under the bus and leave everyone out because he's your Portuguese brother or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? So I want to be fair here. I want to be fair with these players. None of these players, to a T, to a man, this season as a collective have played well. None of these players have played well. I go back to the philosophy of Sir Alex Ferguson. Sir Alex Ferguson would rarely single out a player and criticize him in front of the world, basically. Look, obviously, Laurie Whitwell was picking up on this. So obviously, it has got far wide, of course, guys, in regards to the football horoscope. But I'm looking at Ugarte. Yeah, he hasn't played well. I'm looking at Mainu, who hasn't played at all. I'm looking at Bruno, who's played badly every single game, more or less, and is being let off the hook every single time. You know, so look, if you had the same energy and, you know, with Bruno as you did with Ugarte and Casemiro and Mainu, I wouldn't be so critical. I'll say, oh, well, this is just the way Ruben Amorim does things. If you don't perform, then you know what, you know, you're going to get called out for it. But he's calling out certain players. And now I bring it to the Bruno Fernandes situation with Lenny Yoro and calling out Lenny Yoro. And then it was Lenny Yoro who got dropped despite Bruno Fernandes' error against Manchester City. And I'm looking at, are some players in this team irreplaceable? Are they untouchable? Can they do whatever they want? This is what I want to talk. We need to be fair, guys. We need to be fair with every single player in this squad, whether they play well, they play bad, we call it out for what it is, because it is a team game at the end of the day. But it seems some players there are exempt from criticism. Dalot's been awful. We know that he's been awful. Shaw has been distinctly average since he came back into the team, of course. Nobody has played well for this football club apart. You can single out a couple of players here and there who've done better than others, but nobody in this football team this season has played well. So I don't know why certain players are getting called out when, look, let's be honest, guys, Ugarte hasn't played every game. You know, he hasn't played every game. He's played some games, mainly it's been Casemiro. So I want to know about why some players are getting preferable treatment, why players like Kobe Mainu have not played, etc. Now, you're getting to very dangerous territory when you single out players, because you know we're Man United fans, guys. We're Man United fans. We watch every single game. We watch every game, and we know who's playing well, who's playing poorly. We know that. We analyze the game. We want to win. And yes, Ugarte hasn't got to the levels that he has, of course, that we expected, but neither has other players in that squad. And I don't think it's a very healthy to be calling out individual players here. I don't think it's healthy to be doing that. In my opinion, as a person who supports Ruben Amorim, I don't think it's right to be calling out someone like Ugarte when your captain Bruno Fernandes had Saudi Arabia on his mind in the Europa League final. You know what I mean? And didn't perform and actually gave away the goal, gave away the ball, didn't he? And has carried on that form this season, right? He has not performed this season, you know. So, guys, I'm interested to know your points of view. I'm interested to that. I'm interested to know how you feel. I'm very interested to know how you feel about that, guys. Absolutely. But it is interesting, guys. It is interesting. And I want to know, guys, what you feel. Let me just say good morning to the community, of course. Guys, YouTube are doing something different. They're actually doing a handle. They're not actually doing the names. They're doing the handles, unfortunately, to stop spamming or something like that. So obviously, forgive me if I read out your handle. Okay, guys. Ebering, Joseph, what's going on? I call you Joseph. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good morning. Hope you're doing well, my friend. And big up the legend, Garrett. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Big up, brother. Hope you're doing good. Good to see you again, my friend. Of course, big weekend for Man United and nothing but a win will do. Absolutely. Cheers to that, my friend. Big up, my friend. Having a nice coffee here, guys. Yeah, absolutely. Big up, Sanjay. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you again. Legend, of course. Good morning, Sal. We can win in the Anfield if Amorim chooses the correct players. Of course, Ephraim. Of course, this is the most important thing, of course. And look, guys, we need to get out of the realms of favoritism. I hate favoritism. I really do. In any institution, I hate favoritism. I despise it. I believe in fairness in sport. I believe in sportsmanship. I believe in all that. And I think that if we're just favouring players because they speak the same language as you, etc., then I think that is dangerous. That's dangerous, in my opinion. Big up, Daryl, the legend. What's going on, brother? Hope you're doing well. Morning, Sal, bro. What's that about, Bruno, the big letdown? Exactly. This is what I'm talking about, Daryl. And I don't understand why certain players, well, I do understand it. I do understand it. I think it's favoritism. I think it's because he's Portuguese. This is pretty obvious. This happens all around the world. This happens in Spain, Italy, France, everywhere, England. Favoritism, obviously, with their own countrymen. So what I would say is that, look, you know, this needs to stop because the real issues at Manchester United are not being called out, which is disappointing. And he's just singling it out with one player, etc., which I think is wrong, of course. Big up, Daryl, by the way. Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the stream, my friend. Big up, Dembo. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, of course. Good to see Dembo in the house, of course, guys. Absolutely. Absolutely. Sorry if I'm lagging a little bit today, guys, as usual. Let me see. Morning, Sal. Hope you're well, my friend. Very good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Ugarte, Casemiro, Bruno would not get in the top four midfield. So why should Manchester United expect this level? Look, you know, at the end of the day, many players in our team wouldn't get at the top level, no. Especially our midfield. No. Proof is in the pudding, isn't it, Dembo? Proof is in the pudding, as I always say, of course. Big up, Michael. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Yes, that is what he does. He like protecting his own brothers. He's like playing Dalla all the time, but he is not good. Michael, you know what I've always believed as a Man United supporter my whole life? Like, you're looking at 80% of my life has been supporting this football club. And Alex Ferguson never used to, even though sometimes he should have, he never used to call out individual players. He never used to throw them under the bus. He had his favourites. He did. And let me bring into you the Portuguese thing. Alex Ferguson loves Scottish players. He loves Scotland. That is it, you know, and that was it. But this is natural. This happens in football, you know. But many of those players did perform for Man United. They performed, and it was very rare that an individual player would not perform for this football club. You always got 7, 8 out of 10s for under Alex Ferguson, of course. But this thing with Bruno Fernandes, why is he not being called out? What message does that send to the other players? What message does that send to everyone else in the squad that, oh, you know what? Our captain could do whatever he wants. He can do whatever he pleases and he won't get called out for it. He won't get in trouble for it. You know, that's a little bit dangerous for me. You're treading on treacherous ground there, you know, because as I said, sportsmanship, fairness, opportunity, some things that need to be improved, of course. Big up, Johnny. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. See, I can't trust our verdicts when Amorim called Luke Shaw world class, but he never criticised Bruno or Dalot. I'm not interested in you, Johnny, because you always say something which is not constructive. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So I agree 100% of no players left at this rate. We won't, you know. And it's not just about Luke Shaw and this and that. It's just about Bruno Fernandes here and Dalot. It's about two players there. Unlike Johnny, I can call out the good things that Ruben Amorim does, which he does, but I'm going to call out the bad things as well. You see, that's where intelligence comes into it. So what I would do, guys, is I would say that the way he treats Bruno and other players in the squad, i.e. Dalot and as well, is wrong. And I don't believe in calling out individual players. I believe in calling out the team, at the end of the day. I believe in calling out the team. Will Ruben Amorim succeed? I hope he does succeed. That's why I'm different to other people. A lot of people come on in here and just Ruben Amorim out. That's it. They're just Ruben Amorim out, and they have nothing other than to offer the chat than Ruben Amorim out, and that's it. Because they speak on emotion, and they're like little emotional little kids. But I like to talk things from all angles. Like, I will come on here and praise Ruben Amorim for an hour. I will come on here and criticize Ruben Amorim for an hour. That's what ball knowledge is. That's what intelligence is. And there's many people in this stream that do that. I will call out where Ruben Amorim needs to improve, right? But I would also say, and I've witnessed it my whole life in football, favoritism happens everywhere. Everywhere. Regardless if you like it or lump it, we will call it out, but it happens everywhere. If you were Spanish, playing in Spain, you will get favoritism. If you're English, as we know, playing in England, you will get favoritism. If you're Italian, playing in Italy, you know where we're going with this, isn't it? At the end of the day, this happens in football. It's not right, but it's just something that happens, of course. Absolutely. Big up, Marky Mark. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, my friend. Morning, Sal in the community. How are you, my friend? Very well. Good to see you, mate. We'll beat Liverpool. Keep up the great work, my friend. Good to see you. Come on, my guy. We will beat Liverpool, guys, and we're going to get into the Liverpool game very soon. Big up, Joel. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you, guys. My friend here. What's going on, brother? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you as well, my friend. I'm going to call you Paddy. Is that all right, mate? Because I'm getting your handles, unfortunately, guys. I can't get your name on there, unfortunately. Sorry, brothers. Heaven is better than Luke Shaw. I agree, my friend. I agree. Aiden Heaven should be playing for Man United. Another one that I agree with. What can I do, my friend? What can I do? I mean, all I've done is scream at the screen. All I've done is scream at the screen and say, where's Aiden Heaven? Where's Aiden Heaven? And look, guys, Aiden Heaven is a generational player. A generational player is going to be a world-class defender. Guys, I firmly believe that. I believe he will be a world-class defender, guys, eventually. And I think he needs more opportunities. He does. However, let me just warn you guys. The team that plays against Liverpool will be the team that played against Sunderland. Trust me. I don't think there will be any changes in that team, guys. As much as there should be changes, there's not going to be. Morning, Benny. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you as well. Big up, Paddy. Mainu should play in the deep, Bruno, in attacking. I agree, brother. I agree with that. Number 8, he should be playing all day long. Absolutely. He knew Heaven is far better than Shaw, but he don't use him. Since he bought Diego Leon, he had never used him for a single minute. Even Dorgu is not in good form. Look, you know what, Paddy? As a manager, you live, and this is the way it is, guys. This is the way it is at the end of the day. And look, one thing I would criticize Ruben Amorim about is safety first. I think he believes playing these players is a safe thing to do. But I've said it many, many times, guys, about comfort zones in football. You win nothing with comfort zones. Greatness was not achieved on comfort zones, and I believe that Ruben Amorim is a very comfort zone manager at the moment. He's fearful of his job. Of course he is, because it's gone badly, right? So he's trying to play players that are experienced. But we know, as many other people know, the Man United community and the Man United worldwide fan base, that we watch Man United. We watch Man United week in, week out. We've watched Man United for years. 4 years we watched Manchester United, haven't we? You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Diego Leon can do better than Dorgu. Let's wait and see. Obviously, Diego hasn't played yet, so we don't know. The Premier League is a different animal, my friend. So obviously, if he comes in and he does badly, then obviously we know, isn't it? But the Premier League is different from the league in the South America. Do you know what I mean? We have to wait and see. Big up, Paddy, by the way. Michael, I don't know why he delayed to play Sesko and Senny Lamens, not knowing they play good. Yeah, I agree with Michael here. I agree with what you're saying, because when he named the lineups for the games, when we signed Sesko, for example, and he didn't play against Arsenal, I was very disappointed. I was angry, bro. I was angry. And people know that, you know. And the thing with me, guys, like, I could criticize. I have the ability to criticize because I only care about Man United. Some people, they care about an opinion and their opinion, and that's it. And they're not going to change away for that. And anytime they see an opinion that fits their opinion, they're in there. You know what I mean? I can call out everything from every single angle. What Ruben Amorim does well, what he does badly, and not playing Sesko straight away, not playing SLAMS straight away was a decision that I thought was wrong. And I believe, Michael, against Brentford, even if we had Lenny Yoro on the pitch, we would not lose that game. Right? I'm pretty certain. Right? Even if we had let alone if we had SLAMS and we had Lenny Yoro on the pitch, guys. We would not lose that game, believe me. But that is what football is, especially Premier League football. You know what I mean? Premier League football is based on fine margins, isn't it, at the end of the day? Good morning, Tybo. What's going on, my friend? How you doing, brother? I hope you're doing well. Hope you downloaded Boating, my guy. Good morning. There are news that the Sal is not on, but I think nobody knows anything yet still. Nothing has changed, Tybo. Nothing has changed from yesterday. So... obviously, I've not heard anything from it over here in the UAE where I am at the moment. I've not heard anything in regards to the takeover. There's going to be a lot of ins and outs, twists and turns, and people, is it on, is it out, is it on, and it's going to go on forever. It's going to go on forever. All I can say to you guys about the takeover is that fingers crossed that we get it happening. And, you know, I've heard positive noises over the last week or so in regards to the takeover over here in UAE. Obviously, it's not necessarily down to the ICD or Legatum or any of those businesses. There are other investment consortiums in the UAE that could possibly invest in Manchester United. Let's not forget also that Qatar are still very, very interested in Manchester United as well. This is something that we have to remember as well. They're not going to just turn around and say, right, we're not going to, forget that. Even though Qatar were heavily disrespected during the takeover process, i.e., Sheikh Jassim Hamid doesn't exist, for example, which was a lie, proven as well. And nobody's apologized for that, by the way. But a UAE consortium is interested in Manchester United. Now, things don't just disappear like that, kapoof, you know what I would say. We have to wait and see what happens, and things take time. And obviously, to sell papers, to sell news, people are gonna start twisting it, saying, oh, it's not happening, oh, it's happening, oh, it's happening, oh, it's not happening. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And unfortunately for those content creators out there who love to put a shake on their thumbnails with a big yellow writing, you know what I mean? It's going to be tough for them because they can't talk about anything else. They don't know anything else to talk about in regards to Man United. But here we go, guys. But I'm going to give you the news when I bring you the news, because the one thing about me is that I'm not going to fabricate anything. I'm not going to lie about anything. I'm going to give you the news what you deserve, of course, guys. Am I lagging, guys? Am I lagging? Sorry, guys. Sorry, a little bit. Sal, what midfield would you play versus Scumple? What midfield? I'm going to get into that on my match preview on Friday. I think my match preview. Thursday or Friday I'm going to do. Maybe tomorrow I might do my match preview. What would I do? I will play. You know what I would do? My midfield is always going to be Ugarte and Mainu. But he's not going to do that, is he? You know, he's not going to do that. He's going to play Casemiro and Bruno. I mean, for me to even make a prediction, it's very difficult for me to make a prediction because, you know what I mean. Big up, Mark. Hope I'm not lagging too much, guys. Sorry about that. I am getting this fixed, guys. Absolutely, I am. Big up, Marky Mark. Hope you're doing well. Paddy. One day, I wish to see the combination of Mainu and Camavinga. Wow, Paddy. I mean, I love Camavinga, mate. Absolute phenomenal player, brother. I love Mainu as well. And look, I'm as disappointed as most people are in regards to the lack of game time for Kobbie Mainoo. Of course I am. Because we know it's favoritism. And I don't think that favoritism should occur in football teams, in sports in general. Hello, mate. What's going on, my friend Gary? What's going on, mate? Hope you're doing well. Hello, sir. Good to be with you, mate. Good to be. Guys, I am struggling with the YouTube have changed the things. YouTube have changed it. They're writing your handles rather than the name that you put, that you like to be known as, because they want to stop spam. So this is what I'm hearing, guys. So if I get your name wrong, please apologize, guys. I am trying my best, guys. Thank you so much, guys. Look, Now, let's get into a bit of news about transfers, guys. You may have heard on the channel, if you're a regular on the channel, guys. Federico Di Marco of Inter Milan has been linked to Manchester United again. Now, that guy is a player that I really admire. He's a player that wears his heart on his sleeve, right? He reminds me of a Licha Martinez type of player. Very, very determined player that you need in your squad. I'm surprised Man United have not really gone in for him in, more potently. He can play left wing back, right wing back, centre back, you name it. He's a captain material. And it's the type of players that Manchester United need, of course, is Di Marco. Now, there is rumours circulating, especially over here in the UAE, that Manchester United are looking to bring in someone experienced into the back line. And one of those players is Federico Di Marco. And if we can manage to get Federico Di Marco, it will be, trust me, guys, I'm surprised not many people mention Di Marco. It's like I'm surprised people don't mention Barella and players like that. These players wear their heart on their sleeves. And Napolitan, I know about it. I'm close to it, at the end of the day. And I feel like he will make a huge difference at Manchester United. He really would, guys, absolutely. And I think that Di Marco will be brilliant. And Man United are interested in him. Look, Di Marco wants to move to the Premier League. This is what I'm hearing. He wants a new challenge. He wants to play in another league. Why not go for him? Go for him. Go for it. You know what I mean? I don't think you can go wrong with that. Absolutely. Paddy, can improve our system, bro? Yes, Dumfries. Absolutely. Dumfries is a right wing back, and he's a specialist right wing back. I think he'll be brilliant on that side. I think he would be. And he's cheap as well. I mean, it's funny how we haven't gone after these players, even though Dumfries, we've been linked to Dumfries for the last few years. It's been like, even before he went to Inter Milan and things like that, we have been linked to Dumfries, haven't we? And I think he will fit the system absolutely fantastically well. I think he will be an absolutely brilliant game-changing signing, in my opinion. He really would. And I think that Dumfries on that right wing back position would be brilliant. It's like what I was talking about, Keenan Yildiz, of these kind of players, or Semenyo, for example. These players can play on that left. They can play as a winger as well. And I do believe that Ruben Amorim is trying to bring in players that are less defensively inclined, more attacking minded on the wings. For example, the left wing and the right wing. I think that's what he's trying to do. And what I would say is that I don't mind that. I don't mind that. If it's going to help us in an attacking sense, then yes, it will be great. But yeah, look, I'm surprised we haven't gone in for players like Vanderson, like Dumfries, these kind of players, because they are specialists in the wing back areas, guys, in my opinion. So I'm surprised we haven't gone in for that. I mean, hopefully, eventually, we will sign a proper wing back, of course, guys. Absolutely. I hope so, guys. I hope so. So yeah, let's wait and see what happens anyway in regards to that. Big up. I'm using my phone tonight. My laptop blew up yesterday. I'll be replacing it very soon. I also think Dumfries will be a good signing. It would be a great signing, my friend. It would be. Absolutely. It would be a great signing. And it's a specialist in that position, isn't it? We haven't got a specialist left wing back. We haven't got a specialist right wing back. You can argue Dorgu is that, but I don't think Dorgu's ready. I think Dorgu's he's young. He's 20 years old, guys. We can't throw the book at him too much because he is only 20 years old. He's going to improve, of course. We have to give it time. And I think he's done okay. Obviously, his final ball is suspect, but that improves. I remember when David Beckham was playing for Man United at an early age, and his final ball wasn't up to scratch, wasn't it, at the end of the day, Lebo, what's going on? Dumfries is terrible. Denzo dumbass, the internet fans call him. Big up, Lebo. This is what we get, isn't it? We get the differences of opinion, and I'm all for it. I'm all for it, and I don't mind different opinions on this channel. I read out your chat. Look, I don't believe, this is what I believe, right? I don't believe that Ruben Amorim is looking for a necessarily wing back. I think he's looking for wingers. I do, because I'm reading about Keenan Yildiz. I'm hearing about Semenyo. So Semenyo can play on the left wing. Keenan can play on the left wing. And they can also play on the right wing as well. So I think that that he's looking at wingers rather than wing backs. I don't think necessarily he's worried too much about the defensive side on the wing backs. I don't. And this is what I'm thinking. This is why he hasn't gone in for a specialist wing back, so to speak. You know what I mean? I have to say, because it is what it is, guys, absolutely. But there's going to be a lot of players that are going to be linked over this next few months. Of course, there is. This is what Man United are about at the end of the day. Linked FC, of course. And we will be linked to a few players in the future. However, I would say that I want the midfield fixed. I want it done and dusted, guys. I want that midfield better. I think that midfield is suspect. It really is. And look, we don't have the best midfield in the top 10. You know what I mean? We don't have midfield in the top. We don't have any midfielder who would get into that top 10, in my opinion, guys. And that, I'm just being honest. I can't see anyone who would get into that top 10 at the moment, apart from probably Kobe Mainoo. I'd rather have saved the money and play Shea Lacey, if I'm being honest. Lebo, look, you know what? Shea Lacey's a fantastic player, and he had an injury, didn't he? But I really want to see him given his chance. Also, I want to see Thwaites given his chance. I want to see, obviously, Musa and the Fletcher brothers, and and obviously Ibrahimov and all these players there. I want to see him given an opportunity. I think they deserve an opportunity. Obviously, Thwaites has been compared to Pedri. That is huge praise indeed, isn't it? You know what I mean? And why are we stepping back from giving these players an opportunity, even just to play them from the bench? Do you know what I mean? Even to get them 20 minutes there, 20 minutes there. Even just to get them from the bench, and you know what I mean. What I would say is this, right? What we need is basically being confident and being brave enough to play the youth players and bring them on every single now and then, of course, guys. Because as I said at the beginning, greatness also built on comfort zones, and we got great young players coming through. Why not giving them an opportunity? And I agree with that. I absolutely do agree with that. The fact that we don't have any on the bench is a bit worrying for me. Obviously, we do have the odd one here and there just to keep up with the record of having a youth player on bench. 1930s, isn't it? But there are players like, for example, JJ Gabriel. Now, JJ Gabriel is the next, for me, he's the next Lamine Yamal. That is what JJ Gabriel is. Arsenal are playing players at 15 years old. I think Man United should got to get that player in the squad. I think he's ready. I know he's young. I know he's very young. But I remember when I was growing up, there was a player named George Weah. And he became one of the greatest strikers in the world, right? Won a Ballon d'Or. I think he was the first African player to win the Ballon d'Or, and was an absolute animal. And he was like 15 years old when he made his debut for AC Milan, etc. Do you know what I mean? And I think we got to get him in the squad. JJ Gabriel is showing interest with Real Madrid now. Real Madrid are looking at JJ Gabriel, guys. So we've got to do something there. We can't just sit back. Oh, don't worry about it. We're fine. We've got to do something to get to entice JJ Gabriel to try and basically find a way to put him in the squad, in my opinion. Paddy, our left wing has never existed since last season, and according to Amorim's system, we left winger that can thrive on the ball like Cunha. I'm looking forward to seeing how this system develops, because I actually think that the system will work eventually if we get the players in it, and that's the one thing I would say. I think it will work if we get the right players there. I think the system will work, my friend. Gary, I agree. I think Amorim is looking for right backs who can switch into right wing backs on demand to be able to adjust tactics accordingly. Yeah. Look, you know what? That's what I believe. And this is when you look at the players that Ruben Amorim is interested in, they're very versatile. They could play left back, right back, wing back, attacking midfielder. There's something very similar here. When I look at the players that Man United are linked to, I see like Semenyo, for example. Semenyo could play left wing. Yildiz can play left wing, right wing. But he can also play attacking midfielder. So he's really concentrating on the attacking side of things and what attacking prowesses we can add from the wingers. Do you know what I mean? And this is important. Lebo, Jim Thwaites is a real good prospect for central midfield. If he's not going to play, he needs to be alone a championship team, barring that the likes of Gabriel and Ibrahimov are probably 2-3 years off. But you know what, Lebo, you make a good point. But you know that you need to give them chances, though, isn't it? And this is one thing I would say, like 20 minutes here, 15 minutes here. If you're winning the game, for example, I'll give you an example, right? We're winning the game 3-0, right? And it's 75 minutes on the clock. Bring on Thwaites. Why not? Bring on Thwaites. Bring on Ibrahimov. Bring on Musa. Bring on one of the Fletcher brothers. Bring on Kolungi. Bring on Fredrickson. Any of these players there. Mantato, who can play right wing back. He played against Hong Kong. He played against the Asian All-Stars. And I think he was very impressive, guys. We actually look balanced. You know what I mean? Try it. Just try things. And I would urge people, I would urge him to try things. And that is the biggest thing that I would criticize, of course. Absolutely. Lebo, apparently they've offered Gabriel a box and a new stadium. Yeah. Man United have offered JJ Gabriel and his family a box at the new Old Trafford. Do you think that's going to excite him, mate? He's in line to be a millionaire down the line, isn't he? So, guys, what they need to do, the only way they can entice JJ Gabriel to stay at Man United and ignore Real Madrid's interest is play him. Play him. I think when he reaches 16, he can sign a professional contract. If I'm not wrong, he could sign a professional contract. I think he has to wait until he's 16 years old, in my opinion. Big up, Christian. What's going on, my friend? I'll be doing well. Morning, Sal. With the AFCON coming up, we'll definitely have no creativity on the right side. We need to look ASAP. Why don't Amorim think ahead? It's something I've been talking about, Christian, for a while. Why don't we play Mantato? Why don't we give him a chance? Because now, look, when you're looking at things on a level that Mantato hasn't played any games this season, and he's going to not be ready for first team football. Whereas if we played him 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there. Look, guys, when we're 3-0 down against Brentford, there's no harm in bringing on Mantato, right? Just to give him a little bit of feel about the Premier League, how difficult it is. Right? We need to give these players a chance because Alex Ferguson used to do it. He used to do it all the time. He used to bring on young players with 15 minutes to go, 20 minutes to go, just to give them that little bit of a chance, that little bit of a preparation for when they are called upon. But now, look, we're looking at things, right? We got Dallo. He could play right wing back anyway. Even though he's a poor right wing back, Dallo can play right wing back. But I would have loved to give Mantato a chance. I would love to give him a chance. I think he's going to be a future star. I really do. We shouldn't ignore our youth team. Lately we have put the youth prospects to the back of the queue, which I think is wrong, in my opinion, because every time they play, they've never let us down, and I know that it's friendlies and stuff like that. It is unfortunate that we're left out of the League Cup. We're out of the League Cup, should I say, so we can't really give many players an opportunity now because it's Premier League until the FA Cup comes in January, I believe. So I do believe that we need to give some players a chance, even if it's 15 minutes and 20, as I said, 20 minutes here and there, just to give them a feel for the Premier League. It's what Alex Ferguson used to do, of course. Maybe Rafael or Rodrigo, even Sancho. Big up, my friend. Big up, absolutely, Paddy. Big up, Stretford. Any news on the takeover? No fresh news coming out, guys. And I'm not going to fabricate anything like other channels. Nothing is coming out of the airways at the moment. So anyone put a shake on the thumbnail and yellow writing, they're lying, right? They're just trying to get clicks. So what I would say is this, guys. No fresh news in regards to the shake. There might be the end of today. You never know. But as we know with the Glazers, they are very slow. They're very, how would I say it? They lack communication. They do. And it's going to be difficult for there to be news every single day because there won't be, especially with the Glazers. We know that with transfers, don't we? The way they do things. This is the way the Glazers do things. Now, look, you know what? I know people are frustrated. I'm frustrated. We want the Glazers out. We desperately want the Glazers out. We need the Glazers to leave our football club. Of course we do. You know what I mean? And I would love them to leave the football club, my friends. And, I really got everything crossed, hoping that they sell up because we're fed up with these dirty Glazers. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And they've destroyed our football club and they currently are. Big up, Darren. What's going on, my friend? Big up yourself. 3-0, says Darren. Big up against Liverpool. 3-0. Oh, mate. You know what I mean? If that happens, I will be absolutely delighted. Goodness me. Guys, we need to change the record against Liverpool. We do. And we haven't won there since 2016. So we need to go there and win for a change, guys. Change the narrative a little bit. Do you know what I mean? And try and win a flipping game of football. You know what I mean? And that's what it is ultimately, isn't it? Lebo, this is why us going out of the cup was so detrimental to the squad. Less chance of debuts and rotations. Absolutely. But there's still ways to do it, Lebo. You have to play clever. When you're playing games like in the Premier League and you're winning the game comfortably. I know we haven't really won games comfortably yet in the Premier League, but when you got a chance to put them on for 5-10 minutes, put them on. Put them on. And I would say that. Absolutely. I would do that. Give them a chance. As Alex Ferguson said, if you don't give youth a chance, they sell them. They drift away into the abyss. You've got to give youth a chance. And We're lacking that at the moment, which is surprising for Man United. Big up Mark, what's going on, my friend? Big up Lebo and big up Mark, what's going on? Man United have had a player on the bench from the Academy 6 to 30s. It's about time we gave him some game time. Yeah, because Mark, I'll be honest with you, mate. I don't want us putting a player on the bench just for the sake of putting a player on the bench. I don't, and Ruben Amorim said it. He doesn't want to be that guy who didn't put a youth player on the bench. I don't think it should be like that, right? I don't think you should have that mentality. Man United it's our philosophy and it's our DNA to give youth a chance. It's not just about putting them on the bench. It's about giving them a chance, right? And building your own players. There's nothing better than bringing through youth players into that team and building your own player. Building your own player. I'll give you an example, right? When Alex Ferguson brought through Scholes and Beckham and Gary Neville and Philip Neville and you know, these players, remember what these players are, right? Remember, you gave this guy an opportunity. You gave, for example, Beckham an opportunity, right? You gave Beckham an opportunity. Beckham will be there. He would die for you on that pitch because you're the one who gave him the opportunity. You're the one who gave him his life that he has right now. If you look right now, guys, for example, you look at Beckham's lifestyle. You look at Beckham's millionaire, billionaire lifestyle, right? Married to a Spice Girl, blah, blah, blah. That wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Sir Alex Ferguson. If he didn't believe in Sir Alex Ferguson. Alex Ferguson could have easily said, right, we're going to keep Kanchelskis, even though Kanchelskis left, surprisingly, went to Everton for some reason. He could have kept Kanchelskis, begged him to stay. He could have kept Lee Sharp. He could have kept all these players and not given Beckham an opportunity. And Beckham would have probably, as he was at 20 years old, he was on loan at Preston North End. He could have, you know what, he would have just faded off into the lower league or obviously Premier League mid-table. But it was Alex Ferguson who believed in him. And when you give youth a chance, these players will give 100% because you are the guy. You are the father figure. You are the guy that gave them their first opportunity at this great football club. That goes with Scholes, it goes with Gary Neville, it goes with Philip Neville, it goes... Of course, certain aspects of personalities these days have changed. I know that. But one thing remains. If I was a player playing for Man United in the youth team and you plucked me out from the youth team and said, right, bruv, not bruv, right, pal, I believe in you. I believe in you. I want you to go out there and show me what you're made of. Let's do it. Let's make history, my friend. Let's go out there and show me what you're made of. You know what I mean? Show me that you can play for Manchester United. Show me, right? Show me you're good enough, right? And that's what I would do. And I would do that with Mantato. For me, Mantato would already been a team, you know, and I would look at Thwaites on the bench. I will look at, obviously, Shea Lacey. Shea Lacey, guys, when you watch Shea Lacey, right, you can see talent. Just like JJ Gabriel, right? You can see talent. With Thwaites, you can see talent. You can see it's there. It just needs to be nurtured. If you carry on just leaving them back, hold them back, you're not going to, you know, they're not going to succeed. There comes a time when you're going to have to play some of these players on the pitch. If you're having problems with Ugarte, if you're having problems with Casemiro, take a goddamn risk. Take a risk. Play one of the youth teams. That's what you need to do. This is what I'm saying. And don't be scared to do it because that is not what Man United do. Don't be scared to do it just because you want to get a result here and there. Even when the FA Cup comes, and even if we are still in the League Cup, I still don't believe Ruben Amorim would do it. This is the thing. I believe if we were playing Scunthorpe United, no disrespect, I don't even know if they still exist, but even if we were playing Scunthorpe United, we would still play Casemiro and Bruno, and that we would still play that team. We wouldn't bring through these young players, which is very disappointing for me, you know, and I think that, you know, bringing through the young players will help us. They help you. They do, you know. Imagine it gets to March, April, May, and we got a chance to qualify for Europe, right? And then we get an injury. We can't buy any more players. Thank God we got Mantato. We're giving him some opportunities and he's ready for the first team. Thank God we got Thwaites and he's ready for the first team. Thank God we got Shea Lacey and he's ready for the first team. You know what I mean? And that's what we need. You know what I mean? I know they're not going to be well beaten straight away, but you know when they come on the pitch and they get that little bit of experience, they've already got the remedy for to be a success. You need to nurture that talent. You really do, absolutely. Afro Soup, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. I think it's Afro Soup, or is it Gary? Sorry, Gary. Is it Gary or is that? Sorry, I'm reading your handle rather than the thing. If they rebuild Old Trafford properly and refurbish boxes, the youngsters can have his own box at Old Trafford. Also need to for a new stadium somewhere else. Also, no, there's no need for a new stadium anywhere else. You know what? You know my stance, isn't it, on Old Trafford? I feel like we should rebuild Old Trafford where it is, because I feel like there's a spiritual value to Old Trafford, not just a shiny new toy sort of syndrome that people have in their heads. Old Trafford is a spiritual home of Manchester United, and it has been for 100 years. And I think it should be one of the biggest things, imperative, that we stay at Old Trafford and we're not moving away from Old Trafford. And that's what I believe, absolutely. Big up MB, what's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. The issue with the fan base is when mob get behind an agenda, they become blind to how it affects the bigger picture. Ruben not being willing to give Manu 25-20 isn't the main issue. Blood the youth. Ruben Amorim, and we can criticize Ruben Amorim when it comes to criticizing Ruben Amorim. I back Ruben Amorim, you know that. But what I would say about Ruben Amorim, and I will say it to his face, Ruben, be brave. Be brave. Don't let anyone dictate that dressing room. I'm talking about Bruno's and people like that. Don't let anyone, serial failures, by the way, dictate that dressing room, right? Because they are serial failures, right? When it comes to a chance to say, play the youth team, play the youngsters, play them. Play them. Surprise everyone. No one in the fan base is going to criticize Ruben Amorim if he gave Thwaites a chance. If he gave Shea Lacey a chance, no one's gonna go up to him and say, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh my God, what are you doing?" They're gonna go, "Yes, Shea Lacey's given his chance. Thwaites has been given his chance. Musa, Fletcher, Kalungi, they've all been given their chance." That's what the fan base will be, isn't it? Well, it's better than just say, "Oh, Bruno number 8, Bruno number 8, Bruno number 8." Over and over again, insanity, insanity, insanity. Not being brave to make the change. Do you know what I mean? You don't rate Ugarte. Okay, play Thwaites. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, do it. At the end of the day, all I'm seeing at the moment is a lot of favoritism. And that's one thing I would say. Manu is not the biggest problem. There are a number of problems that are going on at this football club at the moment, of course. But one of the biggest problems is that we're shoehorning players into positions just because it's them. Just because it's Bruno, just because, he's Portuguese and things like that. And that is where I think it's wrong. I think we should give Dugu a chance on the right, since he can play there also. Yeah, good, another one off the back, Canberra, of course. Absolutely. I think that's the same message. More will say about Grimsby playing Manu, who hadn't played in a month, and Ugarte, who had been subbed in the 4 points, taking 2 free players, isn't giving them a chance. What I would say about the Grimsby game, MB Crater, we would have won that game if it wasn't for Onana. Ugarte and Manu didn't particularly have bad games. The problem is when you make mistakes, it creates a reaction in the team. Whereas no matter what team you're playing, no matter what division you're playing, if your goalkeeper makes 2 mistakes, right, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle. And it was down to Onana that game. It was. I know we should have won the game comfortably, but remember, Grimsby were playing for their life here. That was their game. Football doesn't deal with absolutes, MB, I believe that there's something sinister going on with Onana. I think he let in some of those penalties. I really do. He should have saved about 3 or 4 of those penalties. Big up, Neil. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Morning, Salino. Hope you're doing good, brother. Good to see you. Big up, South Africa, of course. Qualified for the World Cup. Congratulations. The true Rainbow Nation before it meant... yeah, look. Big up, South Africa. Big up, Cape Town. Big up, Johannesburg, and all those great places right there, guys. Absolutely. Fantastic. Great to have South Africa in the World Cup. Great footballing nation. And that's what I would say. An absolutely brilliant thing, of course. Christian, every year we bring youth players a chance. I'm sorry, guys, but I don't see anyone getting a chance this year in how many years. It's sad how United that knows our history. It's sad. It's sad as a United fan that knows our history. Every year we bring it. We've really rarely given youth players a chance over the last years, and not only given a chance, consistently given a chance, because obviously you can't expect a youth player to come in the team with 20 minutes to go and all of a sudden become Messi. You know what I mean? You have to give them a game here and a game there. Do you know what I mean? And get them in that momentum of a first team, the taste of first team. And you're not going to give them a taste of first team if you're giving them 5 minutes here, 2 minutes there. And it doesn't happen. It hasn't happened in the last few years at Man United. It really hasn't. Well, name me one. Obviously we had Collier, who was given a little bit of a chance, but obviously he's been loaned out. He had an injury problem, unfortunately, but that's just the way it is. of course. Other than that, who else has been given a chance at Manchester United? You know, not many, isn't it? And no, as much as I want it to happen, I just don't see it happening. And this is sad, as you said there. It's sad because it's our history. And these players that we have in our youth team at the moment, a few of those players, let me tell you guys, they are ready for Manchester United. They are ready. They will be more impactful than some of the first team players in our team. You know? Just have to wait and see, of course. We have to wait and see, of course, guys. Absolutely. But let's wait and see what he does. Lebo, these kids these days think they are Billy Big Bollocks after they've played 4 or 5 games for the first team. People blow that much smoke up their asses. They start believing their own hype, like Garnacho. This is a big problem, Lebo, in regards to, it's been happening for a few years, hasn't it, in regards to players that come through our team and haven't improved. You can argue, like Marcus Rashford, Garnacho, when they broke through the scene, they've actually regressed as footballers. I would argue that with anyone. I think Rashford regressed. I think Garnacho regressed. And why is that? It's attitude, isn't it? It's implementation. It's mentality. I said it many, many times over the years when Beckham broke through into the team and Scholes and Giggs and players like that, right? They used to practice and practice and practice. And even though they were world-class players, a lot of them would still stay behind in training and practice to improve their craft. Beckham would still practice his crosses over and over again, his free kicks over and over again. Cantona would be kicking a ball against the wall, you know, at the cliff over and over again, you know, because they're not arrogant. They didn't believe that they've made it, you know. The players that have broke through at Man United, they break through and say, yes, I've made it. Where's my contract? And I think that is the biggest problem at Man United over the last years. And I think that is that is testament to, not testament, but that is an example of where the mentality is these days. This generation, they're very like, I want it now syndrome. Don't want to work for it. I want it now, like Photoshop. You know what I mean? I want a 6-pack. Get me Photoshop. I'm going to give me a 6-pack sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? Those are, they don't want to work for it. Do you know what I mean? The work ethic is gone. Like I bring in when I was a youth player, when I was a young player, I played for Hornchurch, I played a youth team for Leyton Orient and teams like that. And I didn't reach the level. But every single day, I would get that football after school. I would get that football and I'll go to the park and play football. You know, every day without fail. If I'm not playing football, I'm playing in the garden, you know? And if I'm not going to the park or something like that, I'm playing in the garden. These days, as I see with my nephews and things like that, one of my nephews is a keen footballer in Naples, right? He's a keen footballer. He will play football, but the majority of the time, he will come home and go straight onto his mobile and go straight onto his iPhone, right? When I think he's got the ability, he could become a footballer, but you've got to practice. You've got to keep practicing. You're at that age, you've got to keep practicing. I've got that mentality. And I think this is a true test. This is an example of the youth players these days. Unfortunately, guys, it really is. And sad as it is. Cyronix does the same thing with Cristiano, who is at 16 out of the control. He molded Sir Alex, he molded him out of the control, molded him into a great balanced player. Yeah, and people forget this. I went to many games in the early days of Cristiano Ronaldo when he just signed for Man United, and he wouldn't always play. Sometimes he was left on the bench. I remember when I was working that time, I had a season ticket that time, and I remember people saying, they were laughing at Cristiano Ronaldo. They're saying, Cristiano Ronaldo is a little bit of a one-trick pony, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? And I was saying, no. Listen, you can see talent there. He's going to come good. And I was right. He came good, didn't he? He became a world-class player, became the best player of all time, in my opinion. Right? And this is the thing. Look at Ronaldo, right? When he was a youth player, obviously you see the highlights of him when he played against Man United for Sporting Lisbon and things like that. But you can see things in his game that you think he's got talent. Even when he came on against Bolton on his debut and we won the game, was it 4-0? He was causing havoc, created a penalty. He was causing havoc. You can see the talent. But guys, we wouldn't have known of that talent if we didn't go and play Sporting Lisbon. We wouldn't have known about it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. There's something about playing the youth players that you never know what you're going to get, right? Maybe if Thwaites came on, right, and absolutely tore it apart. Maybe if Shea Lacey came on and absolutely tore it apart. Because at the moment, it seems like I've heard about Shea Lacey for years. It seems like that way. I've been talking about Shea Lacey for years. Why hasn't he been given his debut? Why is he not in the squad? He's obviously got talent. Nurture it. Because if he was at Sporting Lisbon or something like that, he would be given his opportunity. Believe that. And just like Mentato, in a year's time, we'll be like, oh, have you heard of that player? Mentato, who plays for Sporting Lisbon and the right wing back. What a player. You know what I mean? Oh, have you heard of that player who plays for Benfica? Shea Lacey. Have you heard of him? What a player. You know what I mean? And then we'll be buying the player for 50 million or 60 million. You've got to give them a chance at Man United. You know what I mean? And this is what we need to do. And it's something we haven't done enough. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, guys. MB, it's strange how both Garnacho and Rashford issue was thinking they were better than they were. Refusal to adapt to new manager systems and expecting this team to play them, just like Bruno. Agreed, MB. Agree. 100%. Very good comment. This is exactly what it is. Refusal to adapt. Blame, blame, blame. You're the problem. You're the problem. You're the problem. Not looking in the mirror. I would urge every single one of those players, like Rashford, like Garnacho, all those players, like Bruno, get up in the morning and look at yourself in a bloody mirror. And that's what I would say to all these players. Look at yourself in the mirror. Stop blaming this. Blame Erik ten Hag. Blame Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Blame Louis van Gaal. Blame Jose Mourinho. Blame, blame, blame. And that is what Man United are. They play the blame game. You know what I mean? At the end, that's what they do. Sancho, blame. You know, Garnacho, blame. Rashford, blame. Anthony, blame. Bruno, blame. Blame, blame, blame. This is what they do. They don't look at themselves and hold themselves accountable. There's no coincidence here, is there? At the end of the day, they need to look at themselves in the mirror. Rashford, was it Ruben Amorim's fault that you were walking on the pitch and refusing to challenge for headers and things like that? Was that Ruben Amorim's fault? You know, is it Ruben Amorim's fault that Anthony came to his football club? He didn't buy him, by the way, and only claim to fame is doing spinneroonies, cut and shoot, and got found out in the Chelsea Conference League final when he couldn't cut in and shoot because they are much better defenders in England than Spain. You know, and this is what I'm talking about. You know, take responsibility for your own game and stop throwing blame out there. And exactly right, MB. Exactly right. Congratulations to South Africa. Absolutely. Congratulations to South Africa. Is it that one? Is it that one? Is it that one? What is it? What was the South African one? It was during the 2010 World Cup. I can't remember it, guys. You're going to have to help me. Absolutely. Big up, Ellen. Good morning. How you doing? Absolutely. We can win with you from Marky Mark. We've done it before. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. So what I want to say is about the Old Trafford. There's no need to build a new stadium so to give the kids. That's exactly what I said, Gary, my friend. I already said that. That's what I meant. There's no need to build another stadium for that. I don't know why they feel the need to build another stadium to give them a box. Just stay at Old Trafford and build Old Trafford. That's what I say. There's two things we can do, MB, in regards to your comment. We cannot give them a chance because we don't have winners in the team, or we can give them a chance and build a new legacy. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, you can't just not play them. They're talented. You know what I mean? You can argue that with signings as well. You could say if we bring in, for example, a player a young player coming through, Lamine Camara, isn't Lamine Camara going to be infected by the players around him as well? You know what I mean? Oh, but we want to sign Lamine Camara. If we bring in Baleba, isn't Baleba going to be infected around the players as well? You got to think just like, I'm going to take the risk. I'm going to play these players. These players they're going to be ripped out, and these are the future of Manchester United. And keep the players there that are good influencers, in my opinion. Absolutely. No problem, my guy. I get you most of the time. Yeah, big up Nigeria, by the way. Beat Benin yesterday, didn't they? Have they? I think they're in a playoff. Have they qualified yet, Kenny? So I agree with you. Ruben needs to be brave. Giving Mainu short minutes does not build his confidence. I agree. Absolutely. Big up Ephraim. What happened to South with Amorim and Ugarte? Amorim called out Ugarte for saying that he's not the same player he was at Sporting Lisbon, basically. Guys, absolutely. Tyborg, the badge on the shirt and the crazy money you earn won't motivate you to give your all. If the badge on the shirt and the crazy money you earn won't motivate you to give your all, then I don't know what will. Absolutely. Social media should be completely banned from United and things would improve. I agree. But it's hard to do it, isn't it, Tyborg? How do we ban social media? How do we ban it? At the end of the day, they're always going to be looking at their phones. It's a very difficult one. It's impossible to handle. But I would pull it in place. I would say that, yes, social media is banned. You shouldn't be looking at social media before the game, after the game. Leave it. The only time I want you to look at social media is when you're on holiday. And that's it, even if you have to do that. I think that these players should stay away from social media. I believe it. I can only imagine. Look, I've witnessed it on a small scale, very minute scale compared to what these players are subjected to every single day. The criticism, the assaults, the insults, shall I say, etc. And this is obviously going to have a bad impact on these players, you know. And as much as they say they won't, do you know what I mean? It does, absolutely. And I would love it. I'd love it to be banned. I just don't see how some players can take it out of their life. I know there are some players, like I can see Senny Lamens not looking at social media at all. I can see players like that. But when you think about players like, obviously there was Garnacho and Sancho and Rashford and players like that, you can see them, they're on social media all the time. I've actually spoken to Rasmus Højlund on social media, you know what I mean? And on Instagram. And I've actually had a small chat with Bremo. This is the thing, you know, they are all on social media, some of them. But we need to urge players to get off it because there's no good that could come out of it. Social media, in regards to a footballer, social media is a great thing. But as a footballer, there's no good that can come out of social media. Trust me. All players need to do is concentrate on their own game. That's what they need to do. You know what I mean? And improve. And you know, and the rest is history. Big up, my friend. How you doing? Good to see you again. Big up, Sal. I think the failure and weak mentality is an issue that destroys the youth development into the first team because we are so much in a bad space to make succeed where often. It's true, mate. But as I said there, mentality is an issue, my friend. Mentality is an issue. You know, sorry, Lufa. I call you Lufa because obviously the handles, YouTube have changed it and stuff like that. But I agree. But if you do not have the mentality to play for Man United, you're not the right player for Man United. We need to find players that are mentality monsters. You know, we're the only ones that seem to be struggling with mentality. You know, we're the only ones, like we're one of the biggest clubs in the world. You know what I mean? And we're struggling with mentality and players that, you know, are worried about this, worried about that, criticism this, criticism that, manager this, manager that, system this, system that. Just concentrate on your own game, play football, enjoy it. One of Alex Ferguson's quotes, almost every game, what Alex Ferguson used to say before we used to send the players out to play, he used to say, enjoy it. Enjoy it. That's what he used to say, enjoy it. And I think that's a very important thing. Don't stress. Don't let mentality and worry get to you. Go and enjoy your football. You know? Give your all, 100%, fight for the badge, but enjoy it. And I think that is a very, very important thing. I think we lost the ability to enjoy it. You know what I mean? I think we've lost the ability to enjoy it, and we're letting adversities get to us too much. Like playing with a fridge on your back. Do you know what I mean? And we can't move and things like that. You know? Absolutely. That's true, Kenny. I mean, I'm baffled why people do that, mate. Absolutely. Big up, Mark. I get you. Absolutely. That's true. That is very true, of course. Big up. Gary, I really like Amorim. I want him to get as much time as he needs, but favoritism and cowardice will be his downfall. I really hope things change soon. I agree with Gary here. This is my opinion as well. And this is what intelligent people do. You know, they can support Ruben Amorim, but they can call out flaws as well. You know what I mean? They can call out problems in his game and things like that. Do you know what I mean? Which we will do, of course, in this great community. Of course, guys, absolutely. They're in the World Cup playoffs. Congratulations, Niger. Big up the Eagles. Of course, one of my favorite international teams of all time. People who know me. I love the Nigeria of 94 to 98. JJ Okocha, Sunday Elisi, Taiwo West, Efan Okoku, Kanu, Sunday Elise. My goodness me, what a team that was. JJ Okocha was one of my favorite players as well, guys. Absolutely. Rufus in goal, God rest his soul as well. Brilliant player. Celestine Babiaro was at the back as well. They had great players everywhere, guys. They had great players everywhere. Daniel Amakati, you remember him? And one of my favorite international teams was Nigeria. I used to love watching Nigeria. And I think that Nigeria back in 94 to 98 would probably win the World Cup now. They were that good, guys. If you brought that team now from that era and you pull it into this era, I think that Nigerian team right there will win the World Cup now. They were that good, guys. Honestly. JJ Okocha, if there was like, when people ask me, Sal, what player would have improved Man United under Alex Ferguson who played in the Premier League? There's only a couple for me. There's two players that I would have loved at Man United, and both of them we nearly signed. One is Juninho, right, who went to Middlesbrough, the Brazilian international. The other is JJ Okocha. Two players right there I would have loved at Manchester United. Loved at Manchester United. Absolute brilliant players. Georgi Kinkladze, also a very, very, very skillful player. If Georgi Kinkladze played today, he will be there. He will be he'll be like their player, at the top. He'll be at the top. Absolutely at the top. And you know what? Some of these players were absolute world beaters. Do you know what I mean? Talent's regressed, hasn't it? Really has, hasn't it, guys? Huncho, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. I think we should go for Anthony Gordon next summer. Great footballer. Wood scored yesterday. Congratulations, England, for qualifying for the World Cup as expected. But big up Gordon. Big up. He's going to cost a lot, and I don't think Newcastle will sell him to us. Of course, guys. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't think so. If not, if so, it's going to be very expensive. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. MB, if we get new owners, we need two strikers anyway. Absolutely. United should go for Osman, having both Sesko and Osman. Oh, my goodness me. MB, the creator. Creator, you're making me excited, brother. Stop making me excited. Stop making me excited. Yeah, Osman and Sesko would be fire. It would be fire. Play a 4-4-2. Play a 4-4-2 and play Sesko and Osman up front. That would be the one, wouldn't it, guys? Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. Morning, William, by the way. Good to see you, mate. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think the best formation suited to players, and especially for men, is 4-3-2. Well, one thing I would say, Huncho, great players don't worry about systems. Let me tell you that. Zidane didn't worry about playing in a 3, in a 4, and a 5. Great players don't worry about systems. They make things happen. Ty Bog, I already see our Liverpool players hugging the Liverpool players before and after the game on Sunday, and I will go mad again. I could be old school. No, you're not, Ty Bog. You are everything that is wrong with that is. You represent everything that is missing from football. That's what you represent. You represent that, because this is precisely why I would love Roy Keane at the football club. All these huggy kisses, love, and all that. Not before the game. Maybe on the WhatsApp later on in the evening, but not before the game. No smiling and laughing, guys. Absolutely. No smiling and laughing. Absolutely. Guys. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Sorry I can't read out all the comments, but really thank you for joining me. Guys, I'm back later on. I'm back. I hopefully should be back later on. But guys, don't forget to smash a like on the way out. We should have 50 likes by now. Guys, we should have 50 likes by now. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to smash a like on the video, guys. Don't forget to put your notifications on as well, guys. Very, very important, of course, guys. Guys, I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. I will see you later on, of course, guys. And guys, have a great day, whatever you do. And take it easy. And listen, I'll be doing my match preview, guys, probably Thursday or Friday. So keep an eye out for that as well, guys. Bring on Liverpool. International break is over. See you later, guys. Peace.